Hey my dear audio people out there, I hope you're doing great. Today I have another plugin review for you. Denise Audio asked me if I could check out their newest plugin, which is called Dragonfire. It's a compressor with an EQ and a very nice feature. And what it's all about, we're gonna check out now. So essentially what this plugin is, it's a EQ with a compressor section. So you feed certain bands of the EQ into a compressor, so you can really boost or cut it. And afterwards, after compressor, there is another kind of like EQ, which is called here a pull and push, where you can, for example, pull back the frequencies that you added into the compressor, pull back on the final output, so you can really shape the sound of your signal afterwards. So let's check out the plugin, how it looks. So let's pull it up here. As you can see, it looks quite nice. Basically the same like all the other Denise plugins. So first of all, we got here a gain reduction. You can see it changes the threshold of it. Then you got here another slider, which is controlling the clip gain here. So you can clip the signal, which is very nice for certain sounds. You can change the ratio, of course. You got a wet and dry knob or a slider here. Then we have attack and release. You got a high pass and low pass filter, which is how the compressor reacts to the high pass and the low pass. Then we have here the pull slider, which I'm going to show you in a minute. We got the clip and also output gain. And you have the randomize function, which I think all Denise audio plugins have. So you are presented with random settings, which might work or which might not work, but they kind of like give you a creative starting point, for example, here. Got a sidechain. You got also a drive section, so you can add saturation into the different bands. We have a curve, which is essentially shaping the sound of the compressor. So when you are in the lower area here in the curve, you are kind of like a DBX style or 1176 compressor, so VCA, and when you go upwards, you have opto compressor style compression. You got RMS compression, which also changes, of course, the compression style, and you got also the knee setting here. So you can really shape the sound of the compressor. And let's just check it out. So I'm just gonna play the song here. There are no vocals because it's not finished yet. But let's solo the drums here. Just the toms and a kick drum pumping along. So let's say we wanna bring out the toms, a little bit more snap to it, really enhance that. So maybe this is in the area around here in the mid frequencies. Let's boost it quite a bit. Let's reduce the pull all the way here. So we are now feeding the compressor with full band here. You can also solo it. And as you can see, we have here also the typical function like Q factor and the gain. You can also change it, for example, to shelf. So let's leave it to peak. Let's get some compression going here. All right. And maybe let's reduce the attack. Quite fast release. Ratio 5:1, so without it. And of course now let's bring back then the band which we fed into the compressor. So we are not overdoing it with the output all the way. right, without it. And with. So it sounds much more open now. Let's also maybe bring out the high end a little bit more. And also the low end. And now you can say, for example, that you want the compressor to react to the low frequencies, so you can make a high pass filter around, let's say, 60 or 70, maybe also to the top end. Let's see how that works with the song. Got it. Right, so let's see what we can do with the clip. Bring up the makeup gain. Wow, this is now really distorting. Get a little bit lower release here. Let's change the curve. So as you can hear, maybe especially listening with headphones, that the character of the compression really changes. What the drive is doing. So you can really fatten up drums, you can really distort them. Depends if you want to do that or not. But you can make kind of like a boring sound pretty quickly a really interesting one. I mean, that would be too much for that sound. Let's overdo it, just to see. Wow. This might be nice if you wanna do something like a little bit of a room sound, or to fake a room sound. So to really bring out the high and the low end and really drive it to craziness. And then blend it in with the original. That might work quite well. So of course I have created a template here. I played around with it before, and of course, so we have here my drum, which I call Exciter, so let's get that in. And what I did here is basically the same what I showed you now, but with much more conservative levels. Low end boost and high end boost. And also brought out here the mid frequencies just for the toms. What I also did is I pulled it back to 60% with a high pass and low pass filter, and added a little bit of drive. Without it. Just brings up the different bands quite a bit, and it fits much nicer in the mix then. I like that. I like that very much. Even so that I also used it on the stumps here to sound like that without it. And with much more presence. I mean, you could probably do it with a EQ and a compressor, but you always have the problem afterwards that when you push too much EQ into a compressor, it's reacting always a little bit, for my taste, too much to the certain frequencies. For example, if you boost too much high frequencies into a compressor, you will have a little bit of a problem on the output because the high frequencies are way overdone. So you add another EQ after the compressor and pull it back. And you can all do that with one plug-in, which is, I have to say, really nice. And it works very easy, actually. So let's see how it works with the song. Nice. Let's also check out, I did it also here on the mix. So I printed the data track. And I added here to the final output my template, which I call Mix Finalizer. And I added here just a slight boost of top end and low end, and I reduced here 200 a bit. So let's see how that sounds. Ratio is 2:1, so not 4:1 like we have beforehand. Attack 10 milliseconds, release, and also 60% here, but added no drive. And I went here with full RMS compression. Without it. So it kind of makes it sound like a little bit more like a finished record, a finished product. And of course there are really, let's go back to the drums just for a second. There are really a lot of presets to have a starting point. You can use it on bass. Let's see in the drums. Let's try that, for example, how that sounds. Got also, as you can see, multi-band mix bus compression, certain starting points for bass and so forth. So quite a lot of presets in there that you can start and play around with. Of course, there's a trial version, so check out, go to Denise.io, the website, download the plugin and check it out if you like it. For me, it's a thumbs up. I really like it. And I think they have done really a great job here with that plugin. It's very easy to use, and it's essentially a plugin, one plugin where we have 3 different plugins in there. So I think that's a nice deal. All right, so I hope you liked that review, and I hope I'm gonna see you in another video. Please subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more videos like that in the future. I'm Marty, thanks for watching, and see you next time.